Hey guys, welcome back to Loft Sports. It's Tyler coming at you with the morning after video, the Michigan game. Wow. That's about all I can say. Yet again, big stage. Yet again, big opponent. Yet again, big letdown. Listen, I love college football. It's my favorite sport. Second place is not even close. It's been a while since I haven't been able to watch the end of a game, especially a Notre Dame game, because I just am sick at what I'm seeing. And I'm going to be honest, I tapped out. It's not something I normally do. I usually go down with the ship, but I had to abort last night. I just couldn't take it. Like, it's one thing to go up there and lose. It's another thing to just get absolutely manhandled and look like you don't even want to be there. I turned it off. Once Michigan scored and went up 31-7, and it looked like our starters were coming out, the team was throwing in the towel, I went to bed. And every Saturday, and I live on the East Coast, okay? I live in the Eastern time zone. I'm normally up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning watching the Pac-12 and the West Coast games finish just because I love college football so much. I couldn't do it. I was going to watch the Oregon-Washington State game. That turned out to be an amazing game. Came down to a last-second field goal. But I couldn't even turn on any more college football. Like, I was so heartbroken at what I was seeing. And I know I get too invested in these games, and I shouldn't let them mess with my emotions the way that I do. But I just can't help it. I've been watching college football since I was 4 or 5 years old. I grew up in Nebraska, which is a football-heavy state because we don't have anything else there. But I mean, I just couldn't handle it. Like, it was sucker punch after sucker punch. We just couldn't do anything offensively. They were picking up 10 yards a play, running the football. I just couldn't handle it. So I tapped out. Went to bed, laid in bed for a couple hours, staring at the ceiling, thinking, what did I just witness? Got out of bed and played Call of Duty till about 3 o'clock in the morning when my son woke up and I had to feed him. I just couldn't take it. Like, I don't even know where to go from here. We got Virginia Tech coming in next week. The season's not over, okay? Our chances at the playoff are gone, but they were probably on life support as it is. There's still a chance to get to double-digit wins. There's still a chance at a really good bowl game. Virginia Tech's on fire. We'll talk more about them in the preview video, but you know, this is going to be a test of this team's character and this coaching staff more so than the players. I mean, my God, you would have thought Michigan was the team that just, you know, Michigan looked like the team that their playoff hopes were still intact. They come out, they looked like they were ready to play. They were amped up. The crowd was singing their, Seven Nation Army chant before the game. It's pouring down rain. Their dudes are out running around. Their cheerleaders are sliding like a slip and slide in the end zone. And our guys are standing over there, hunched under the raincoats and books over there under the thing, trying to talk on the phone that they had to change out 2 or 3 times for whatever reason. Probably should have just used smoke signals because it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Like, the offense couldn't do anything. This is the first time I couldn't watch the end of a game since the Miami game back in 2017. When we went down there, similar situation. We were in the top 5. Thought we had a good chance to win. That Miami team was good, but they weren't elite. And that got proven at the end of the season when they lost 3 consecutive games by significant margins. Michigan's a good team. Okay, I picked Michigan to win the Big Ten, and Seth in our videos in the summer. I'm not upset that we lost to Michigan because I think Jim Harbaugh is still a really good coach, and I think Michigan is still a top 15 team. But my God, to just show up and not even want to be there, and people are going to say, "Well, the rain and the weather." Okay, was it raining when Michigan had the ball? Yeah. What did they do? They ran it right down our frickin' throat. And if you didn't watch this game and you're going to watch the replay, just watch the first 5 minutes of the game. We get the ball, we go and we punt. They make a mental mistake and rough our punter and give us the ball in plus territory. First snap after their big penalty that could have been a swinging point in the game early, we snap the ball into our tight end's leg as he's motioning across the line of scrimmage, which I'm going to get to that point in a minute. So we lose 4 yards because we fumble a snap. Next time, we don't even run a play, false start. It's 2nd and 19. You've killed all your momentum on the drive, so we punt. Punting team does a great job. Backs them up inside the 5-yard line. Defense comes out, holds them to a 3 and out. They punt from their own goal line, and we block it. We block the punt. And I'm like, there we go. The defense is going to step up, and they're going to play like they did against Virginia, and they're going to play like they did against Georgia when the offense can't move the ball. They're going to keep us in the game. And for some inexplicable reason, our dude dives at the football, can't get on it. Another guy tries to pick it up with 4 Michigan players around him instead of just falling on that freaking thing. Michigan gets the ball back. So we squander an amazing opportunity to have the ball at their 30-yard line right away. I mean, I've been watching college football since I was 4 or 5 years old. You know, I don't think I've ever seen a team block a punt and then not get the ball. Like, everybody and their mother knows to get away from the damn thing, especially when it's a monsoon and the ball's rolling down the field. So that just summed up the night from there. They go down and get a field goal. From there on, they ran the ball. This is what really pisses me off. Ian Book completed 8 passes for 73 yards. That's terrible. He was 8 of 25, which is around 33%. But here's what's funnier. Shea Patterson was 6 of 12 for 100 yards. We lost to a team by 30 points that completed 6 passes. This isn't Navy or Army that wears you out with the triple option. We lost to a modern team that completed 6 passes with their starting quarterback. And we got beat by 30. I don't want to hear the conditions as an excuse. I don't want to hear that Michigan had more to play for. If you can even think of that as an excuse, that's embarrassing. They looked like the team that their season was still intact. We looked like the team that just got our heart ripped out last week. We were coming in off of a bye. Yet again, Kelly gets outcoached. I don't know what else to make of it. I don't. My keys were Book, the running game, and turnovers. We lost in all 3. 2 fumbles, including the blocked punt, which goes down as a fumble, by the way. The running game, I think we had 40-some yards rushing. Terrible. And then Book, we'll get to that in just a second. 180 yards of total offense, and most of that was in garbage time when our backups were in the game and their 3rd and 4th string guys were in the game. Michigan had over 300 yards rushing. 300. Tell me again how great our defensive line is and how great our offensive line is. And we had 47 rush yards to their 303. Yet again, big opponent, big stage, big heartbreak. When is this going to stop? Alright, so my 3 takeaways from the disappointment of last night. Number 1, no pun intended, but Book can't read. He can't read the field. 2, 3, 4, 5 times last night, Kirk Herbstreit drew up, went back, ran the play back, and drew on the screen, hey, you see how this guy breaks open here? The pocket's clean. Step up and throw the football. Instead, he's falling back or he's tucking and running if his first read's not there. I don't understand why quarterbacks at Notre Dame regress from year 1 to year 2. Reese, Golson, Kaiser, Wimbush, Book. Every year under Coach Kelly, our quarterbacks get worse from year 1 to year 2. Meanwhile, Oklahoma is going to put in some quarterback that, yeah, Jalen Hurts was a 5-star recruit, but the dude, is he great? I don't know. But I think I could probably throw for 250 yards a game at Oklahoma. I mean, I know they lost yesterday, but their offense isn't the problem. And I'm not going to get into all that in this video. But seriously, like, I don't understand it. You are Notre Dame. You should be able to get quarterbacks that are at least competitive. Like, I'm getting so frustrated at watching our quarterbacks be average when they need to be great. The defense can't get sack, scoop, and score fumble returns for touchdowns every time to bail you out, like the Virginia game. They can't stuff the run for 4 quarters when they're on the field for 30, 40 minutes of a game. It's just not realistic expectations. Nobody's defense is that good. The offense has to possess the ball. They have to be able to run the ball to open up the pass, and it's not all on Book, but a lot of it is. This was the game he had to take ownership and win the game for us, and he couldn't do it. Now, yes, there were some drop passes. I know the conditions are horrible. It's hard to throw the football when it's wet like that and it's pouring down rain. I get that. But this is just not acceptable. Ian Book, he's bailing out of the pocket too soon. He looks scared. He looks shook. He doesn't have confidence in himself, and he's not athletic enough to pick up 10 yards and just go. He's not fast enough. He's a game manager on his best day, and that's it. And I like Ian. I don't want to sit here and pick him apart. He is what he is. He's a 3-star recruit from California. He's a good quarterback. He's good when the talent around him is great, but that's all he is. He's not going to be good enough, and if he comes back next year, we're not going to go anywhere that we haven't been already. We're going to be a 9-3, 10-2 team at best because Book is just not good enough to take the next step. We need to find somebody else for next year. Takeaway number 2. This team is way too much finesse. Seth and I have a theory that finesse teams do not win national championships. You tell me the last time a finesse-first team won a national championship. That's right. I can't think of one either. Yes, Oregon has come close a couple of times, but when they run into Ohio State or at Auburn or Alabama or somebody that's going to punch you in the face, then their offense gets stepped back. And you can see that this year when they played Auburn in the first week. When a defensive line can get pressure with 4, this little dink and dunk shit doesn't work. And our offense is way too finesse. We need to be able to line up and run the football north and south. Michigan's running backs get the ball last night. They're in the hole for 4 or 5 yards. And if it's not there, they just take a 1 or a 2 yard gain and they run the next play. Notre Dame's running backs are trying to stretch the ball to the boundary every single time. You're not going to run east-west on these defenses. It can work against New Mexico and Bowling Green. It's not going to work against elite talent. It's just too much finesse. The running game is not there. The offensive line can't run block. They're great at pass block. They're really good at pass protection, but they cannot block for the running game. Too much finesse. We need to get more physical. Lastly, outcoached. This is all on Brian Kelly. Awful bye week. Michigan's talking about how Harbaugh's going to be losing 4 or 5 games because they're going to lose this one in Michigan State and Ohio State, and he's probably going to get fired. I'm not saying Brian Kelly should be fired. I'm not one of those people. I don't think we need to overreact. I don't think we need to be talking about Coach Kelly's job. But this is on him. We had a week to prepare. We didn't look like we were even interested in being on the field. I mean, it was almost like they were like, it's kind of raining out tonight. Why don't we just pack it in and we'll go back to the hotel and hang out. I mean, seriously, there was everything to play for. Oklahoma lost during the day. Auburn lost during the day. The opportunity to move up in the polls was there, and we come out and just totally shit the bed. There's no other way to say it. I mean, I don't know if that's the culture of this team, is it's all flash, and if it's not going our way, we just pack it in. I've seen Bob Davie teams that were athletically inferior play against some good USC and good Michigan teams and hold their water even though the talent wasn't as good. This Notre Dame team isn't going to get that much more talented. Yeah, there's a few spots we could get better players, but this team is not going to get any more talented than they already are. How many top 15, 10 recruiting classes do you need before they've got enough talent to win a national championship? Now, this team is not Ohio State. Ohio State would wax our ass. Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma would all probably wax our ass. But I thought we were at least good enough to say we belonged in the second tier. And now after that, I'm not so sure that we're even in that second tier. I don't know if we're as good as Florida or any of those other teams that are kind of underneath those top 5 or 6. So I don't know. We'll see what's left to play for. We got Virginia Tech next. We still got to play Stanford. We haven't beat Stanford on the road in the Kelly era. So there's still a chance to salvage a little bit of the season. But overall, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just heartbroken. I'm tired of losing. It's one thing to lose, but I'm tired of getting absolutely bombarded. And then we're going to have to hear this whole thing about Notre Dame doesn't belong. They're not good enough. They should join a conference. You're overrated. You only get ranked because you're Notre Dame. Blah, 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 blah. So we'll see what kind of character this coaching staff and this team puts out there the last 5 games. Not going to quit on this team. I still love them, whether we're 0-12 or 12-0. But we've got a long way to go. And last night, that was more apparent than ever. Congratulations to Michigan. Feel free to blow us up in the comments. Hopefully we play before 2023. Or 2033, excuse me. They just announced a new series with Michigan. Hopefully we play sooner. This is a game that needs to be played every year. I think most college football fans, even if they're outside of our fan bases, would agree that this is one that should be played annually. God, I hope we don't have to live with this for 14 years before we get another chance at Michigan. But congratulations to Michigan on the win. You got a great team. Go beat Ohio State. See if you can finally get that monkey off your back. Harbaugh finally got the top 10 team that he needed to beat done. So, anyway, this is Tyler with Loft Sports, signing off. Go Irish.